One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferrero. I am the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall Global. And wherever you are on the planet, we welcome you. And if you're watching this later, we welcome you also. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking us out and supporting SoulCall Global and yourself and your consciousness. This morning's topic is going to be about contemplation and meditation. And I know many of you are involved with us on our Monday night meditations. And that power of group meditation is something that is so enriching. And it's a powerful way to come together in the silence. So we're going to talk about the benefits of meditation and contemplation and what the subtle differences are between those two today. First, I want to welcome Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz. A form of meditation we offer every Soul Call Sunday is Qigong meditation. And for those of you who joined us live in the park a few weeks ago, the comments I continue to field from those of you who participated in the group Qigong activity in the program, when we were live and in person, in the portion in the program, and then, of course, the longer version of it under the trees outside. The power that was felt in the group was amazing. So we invite you to participate wherever you are. Tune into the SoulCall Global community. Know that you are practicing this with many others at the exact same time. I mean, even if you're doing it later, chances are there are others watching at the same time. So feel that connection of the energy as we practice Qigong together with Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz.
Hello, everyone. We continue with opening our connection through our Qigong practice. So please relax the hands to the sides, either in your healing posture or your standing posture. Look forward, stretching the vision to infinite space. Gather all the healing information, wisdom, and pull it back into the mind's home and gently close the eyes. Then lift the shoulders, physically moving the shoulders up, tucking the chin, opening the throat, opening a channel of chi inside, moving the shoulders up to the ears. Then slowly relax the shoulders as the chi continues spiraling upward, and we sink into the core of the earth, sinking, shrinking into the core of the universe, shrinking, sinking, merging all as one. Gently allow the hands to be pulled upward in front of the face, palms facing each other, not quite touching. Then open up. Few inches. Now very, very slowly begin to close inward, closing the chi inside the mind's home, very slowly, bringing the chi inside the mind's home. Slowly, chi closing inside the mind's home. Slowly, slowly, at the same time, expanding, opening our inner lighthouse. Slowly, very, very slowly. Closing the chi inside, simultaneously opening, awakening. Slowly, slowly, so slow. Deep inside, closing chi in, at the same time opening, awakening our consciousness, our true self, our inner lighthouse, beginning to shine, shine. Bring the palms together, lowering into the praying hands position in front of the chest, and very gently open the eyes, allowing our inner light to shine outward.
Don't you just love that? I'm not sure what's hanging in front of my, it's a wire hanging there. Thank you, Deborah, for that beautiful meditation, Qigong meditation. Now I invite you to do another form of a meditation to this opening song written by Erika Luckett, and she and I performed this. It was one of the first songs we ever sang together, and it's such a beautiful reminder of we ride on the wave of breath. Our life force rides on this gentle wave of breath, and breath is the cord that keeps the life force in the body. Kind of like a beautiful lyric rides on the melody of a song. So paying attention to the breath, we can help ourselves to calm down and alleviate some of the stress, some of the worry. So allow yourself to just fall into a lovely breathing experience, just following your inhalation and your exhalation as you allow this song to nourish every cell of your being.
Let's meet at the place where you and I begin. We'll move through water and into stone, where stone melts to fire and fire turns to light, where my breath becomes your breath and your breath becomes mine. My breath becomes your breath and your breath becomes mine. I kiss, but when I awoke, there was dew upon my lips. There was dew upon my lips. We'll wind our hands back to where time holds still. No need to hurry or wait until where ends the beginnings, and now is always a time where my breath becomes your breath, and your breath becomes mine. My breath becomes your breath, and your breath becomes mine. I thought I dreamt this kiss, but when I awoke, there was dew upon my lips. There was dew upon my lips. I look in your eyes and feel the infinite divine, where my breath becomes your breath, and your breath becomes mine. My breath becomes your breath, and your breath becomes my breath, and my breath becomes your breath, and your breath becomes mine.
Yeah. Your breath becomes my breath. My breath becomes your breath. It's this cycle of life, the circle of life, in recognition that each is here to play our significant role. And this morning's topic is contemplation and meditation. And I was having such joy putting together this talk this morning because these are two subjects that, unless you're really on a path of introspection, like really wanting to examine your life and what it is that precludes you from having the best opportunity to have the most joy in life, which doesn't mean that nothing challenging is ever going to present itself. That's not what I mean. What it means is when challenging things present, you'll have some tools with which to work, or you'll already have used the tools, like Yogananda would say, the pickaxe of consciousness, of the pickaxe of introspection, to start chunking away at some of the things that keep us from being luminous and from having this totally revealed heart. it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable and open. It really does. And it also takes some courage to know when to kind of put a little thing around yourself to take care and protect. But more fearless is allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable, knowing that in this vulnerability is the greatest strength. And so contemplation and meditation, Yogananda would say of introspection or sitting in the silence. Some people think when they're meditating, it's just sitting in the silence. He'd say introspection or just sitting in the silence is an unscientific way of trying to force apart the mind and the senses. The mind and the senses. So just as I said, a beautiful lyric rides on the melody, the senses and the mind kind of work together as well. So tied together by life force, the mind and the senses, the contemplative mind, attempting its return to divinity, is constantly dragged back toward the senses by life currents. So these senses that are being marketed to 24/7. Just before we started, I was sharing with Natalia that right now, in this moment in time-space continuum, human beings, for the first time, have a shorter attention span than fish, a goldfish in a bowl. So there was a comedian that would talk about the goldfish in the bowl and how nice it would be to have a short attention span sometimes. If you were a goldfish in a bowl and somebody put one of those little houses in, and every time it would come around the bowl and see the house, it would say, "Oh, it's a new house." And then swim around. And by the time it got halfway around, it would forget and come back around again and say, "Oh, it's a new house." To be surprised by these things. But disturbing that the attention span of a goldfish is, longer than a human being. The attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. The attention span of the average human on the planet right now is between 8 and 8.5 seconds. And part of the reason this is an interesting thing to me is the way we are marketed to. There are things that just keep coming at us when we're not ready, or when we are ready. Like they want us to buy their things. They want us to just keep showing us what they have available and to keep our attention. So right now, if I kept talking for 8 seconds, I would lose most of you to the flashing. These are all of the lovely things that we have available for you in the SoulCall store. And I hope you're laughing, because it is kind of funny that this short attention span of the human beings is one of the things that marketing professionals are trying to deal with, how to keep you involved or engaged in what it is they're trying to sell you. When in fact, it's the marketing and advertising group that helped to co-create our participation. Of course, we have to take responsibility for our own actions and participating with it. But their part was how to keep the amygdala engaged, that fight or flight response. So back when I was in school getting my degree in developmental psychology, I remembered this challenge for children. It was around the same time, iPads were starting to become much more popular, video games, videos, DVDs, hooked up to the backs of the front seats so that kids could be in a car seat watching something, so they're quiet. Now, I am not dissing families or parents who needed to try to find 10 minutes of mind space to tend to other things. How lovely to put a child down in front of something that they appear to be engrossed in. I remember my siblings saying, look at her, she just loves this. She loves it because what they were doing was other psychologists were watching children watch videos and marking where the child started to lose interest. And they would note the time of the frame where the child would start to just maybe go look for another toy. And they would go back and re-edit these videos to incorporate some minor change in the scenery, some minor shift in the frame, so that just as the child was starting to turn away, something would come in and it would make them, what was that? What just happened? Much like Natalia was flashing up she wasn't flashing us, she was flashing up products in the store. Anytime something like that happens, an introduction of a new frame, it makes our fight or flight kick in to make sure that whatever was just introduced onto the scene is not going to harm us. And marketers know this. So when you're scrolling a Facebook feed, just because you're changing the image, as fast as you can scroll, you're seeing a new image. It's again and again and again. It's an addictive pattern in the brain. It's an addiction, and it just keeps shooting us with that cortisol release, and it keeps us like on this high. So one of the first things I ask for people who take our meditation class, I'm going to be teaching a meditation class going into autumn, contemplation and meditation, is to take a time where you don't need to be working and take a mental fast from your technology. Just don't do any of it, or try to limit the time we spend on technology to as few the number of hours as possible. Many of you know I don't watch a lot of television. I probably watched more television during this pandemic, just with friends. But I don't really watch TV. And so I certainly, when I do, I try to just make it a film or a documentary or something meaningful like that. But if I am in a place where something on a network television where they still show commercials, I don't know how you all deal with that. It's amazing. If you took a fast from that, even for 2 weeks, and then you went back to try to watch a program, the continuity of consciousness, what they've started to do is the end of the scene before they started all of the 2 minutes worth of commercials or more, they'll come back into the next scene, almost picking up where they left off, but introducing some things that just happened already, because we can't remember as well because of all of the interruption and all of the stuff that happened in between. So this continuity of consciousness with contemplation, meditation techniques can help us to open and receive and think the longer thoughts, keeping a meditation journal, thinking the longer thoughts. I recently got a new phone. I needed a new phone. It was old, and my former computer, I think, might have been the prototype that Nikola Tesla used just decades after the Civil War. I mean, that's how old my computer was. And so I was not prepared for the fact that my phone was going to automatically link the notifications to my computer. So I'm on a Zoom call with a client, a coaching client, or doing a spiritual mentor program. These notifications from my emails, just bing, 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 and texts constantly. I needed to turn it all off so that I could be present with the person I was engaged with in the moment. How many of you have that? I know when an important email is forthcoming, and I know that I can trust myself to go look at my emails, to look for those things. Just setting aside time to dictate your own day. You be the author of your consciousness. You be the author of your day. It's quite an interesting thing, as I was saying, that the marketers are really concerned because they're trying to figure out how to keep people's attention. And they're the ones that created the short attention span to begin with. And it was our participation with it that, helped us to have a shorter attention span perhaps than ever before in the history of humanity. But contemplation meditation can help us to think those long thoughts and to not be so reactionary, but reflect and respond. Take a moment to reflect and respond to what's coming forth thoughtfully, with poise, just to slow the whole thing down. So the definition I like to use for contemplation, I grabbed the Merriam-Webster because she's so smart. Concentration on spiritual things as a form of private devotion is one of the definitions of contemplation. Concentration on spiritual things as a form of private devotion. So it's like this inner world, an act of considering with attention. And study made the decision after much contemplation. And then meditation, my definition for meditation is the art and technique of overcoming body identification so that the soul can abide in perfect calmness and tranquility of its true nature. Just taking a moment to take that in. The art and technique of overcoming body identification so that the soul can abide in the perfect calmness and tranquility of its true nature. We can practice that type of meditation. There are many forms of meditation, Qigong, there's visualization, there's walking meditations, breathing meditations, energy meditations, Tai Chi, and the list goes on and on. Guided meditations, with guided imagery meditations to visualization and meditation. Sports psychologists use that often to help, with changing the thought, seeing it, and then doing it. But we could do meditation on the purpose of attaining God communion, which is what Self-Realization Fellowship teaches. It is what we teach on Monday nights when you join us. Is the only purpose we are there for is to achieve an awareness of our connection to source energy, which in fact powers the whole dream, the whole drama of life, death, vibrational shifts in reality of consciousness. All of it comes from the one dreamer's consciousness, the friend behind the friend, the gift and the giver. It's all of it. The changer and the changed is a beautiful recording. The changer and the changed. Now we've become the consumer and the consumed instead of the changer and the changed. Our capacity to be a conscious observer of life rather than a conscious purchaser. A conscious consumer is different than just mindlessly buying things. We don't even know why. Maybe I looked at a pair of shoes once on an Instagram or a Facebook feed. Now I get shoe ads constantly. And I won't buy them just because. Like if I want them, I'll go someplace else now. I just won't do it because I am just drawing a line in my own sand of consciousness, my own beach. It's just, I'm not going to let myself fall into it. But it's difficult not to when it comes from all angles, right? So when it comes from all angles, we just push our energy out, not as pushing hard, but just gently expand and take it away so it doesn't kind of land a body blow is what I say. And bring the mind and the attention deep into meditation. And we can practice meditation anywhere, on a plane, on a train, watching water go down the drain. It's my little Sam I Am rhyme for the day. But you can practice meditation anywhere you have a few moments. I have a client who was trying to practice meditation. She was lots of anxiety and a lot of stress. The pandemic has kicked up many things for many people. And even though we're not moving, we're left to just sit and take in information we don't quite know what to do with. Like we hear this from this source, we hear this from that source, and where's the truth in it? It's for each of us to decide what is our level of comfort and what is true for us based on facts and science, of course, and things like this. But then each of us is going to do it differently. As long as we can stay in divine alignment with source as ourself, operating from the sacred center, which is our soul, we've got a head start on it. So learning the tools of meditation. So, following the breath, we started that song. We started this with the song Breath, because recently, very recently, I have to say, I recognized as I was moving through my yoga practice in the morning, I don't really particularly love getting in the water, in the ocean. And when I do, if I am snorkeling, it's not really fun for me. I try to relax, but all I could hear is my breath in the mask, just kind of like, it's just like, relax, I have air, I can breathe, but I'm not so sure. I found that in my yoga practice in the morning, I was not breathing quite like gasping, but I was kind of hurrying through my yoga. And I have a pretty nice pace with my yoga practice. So I'm not too slow. I'm not too fast. So I realized I was doing it kind of not too slow, not too fast. It was kind of half-assed is how I've been doing it. And I realized I can do this even more slowly and really pay attention to my breath. And I caught myself, I recognized that I was breathing in a way as if I were underwater, and I wasn't. I'm like, wow, I can really slow this down and create the space in my body that breath, the luxury of breath, affords us to create space. And with more space in the body, nobody's going to be surprised to hear me say next that some pain in certain areas was alleviated by creating space in the body with breath. So by creating space in the mind through meditation helps us to stretch the consciousness and allow the grooves of thought that have been cut so deeply to just stretch and become smooth. We can cut a new groove. It's like cutting a new record back in the day. You get a piece of, hot wax, cut the groove of your consciousness with a song you like to sing to yourself. Something more soothing, something more beautiful, something more God reminding, more love reminding, more response and not react. So here I was. I realized I was not paying attention to my breath. I was thinking of things that I'm going to do as soon as I'm finished. So I was over here. My body was over here, but my mind was over there. And the breath helped me to bring back that divine alignment and create space. My yoga practice was so much better. And as I moved throughout the rest of the day, after I do yoga, I kind of wake up the body and prepare it to go sit in meditation. My meditations are generally pretty deep and smooth at this point, but it was even better. And I'm having this beautiful love relationship with breath. Breath itself, I'm so grateful for breath. And it's helping me to stay more present in the moment, And I'm thinking about how marketing, finding the thing you love and do it just because you love it, not because you want to make money at it. That's what the marketing thing can steal from us who are operating on a soul contract. As a musician, I was privileged to be able to earn a living as a musician for a number of years. And I still do, and SoulCall now is the thing I want to take to the end of this life, creating our centers for contemplation, meditation, and creativity, the SoulCall centers. That's the vision. It's part of why I traveled the world singing in the first place, was to help awaken the consciousness and I love to sing. I'll always love to sing. Well, when it becomes for someone else to make money, when you become a commodity, it's not so much fun. I look at Simone Biles and her courage to step back and take care of herself. This is a super high functioning, incredibly accomplished human being who definitely knows the power of contemplation, concentration, meditation, and intensity. And when a person of that caliber recognizes that there's a disconnect between her amazing human body and the mind that powers the cells of it, I am so grateful that she had the strength and the courage to say no to the marketing people, to what causes it to become something other than the beautiful thing that it can be for all of us to witness. The regimen they have to go through. Same with somebody like a Britney Spears, or I think of like Whitney Houston. I think of some of the greatest singers of my time who are gone. They hit 50 and they're out of here. Elvis Presley was one that preceded. I remember the day Elvis Presley died. I was really little, but I knew how to ride a bicycle. And I just had to get out of the house. And I remember riding the bike around the backyard in a circle. I realized now I was going counterclockwise. I was trying to erase that information because I didn't know where to put it. This was this larger than life human being. And I couldn't place how to deal with this thing. Like, he had become outside of himself a commodity, and to keep things moving fast, Go, 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 go. He was worth, I think, $2.4 or $4.2 billion when he died in 1977. That's a lot of money now. I'd take it. If somebody wants to send me $2.4 billion, yes, and thank you. We could build our centers. But the point there is that was a lot of money back then, even more. The value of it was intensified. I started thinking about this, and it reminded me of a conversation I had the privilege of having a one-on-one lengthy conversation with composer Marvin Hamlish. It was outside of an event that was happening with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, and I just got to sit and talk with him for about an hour about music, and he was listening to some of the compositions I created, and they really moved him. He said, "You're writing from a place I like to write from." And he was saying, you're so lucky because you don't have the commitments and time constraints that I have to write because I have to write. And I don't get the luxury of those opening all the way up and allowing it to come. You're so lucky. And I was like, no, you're lucky. And he's like, yes, I'm blessed. And it's not the same thing. We had this great conversation about trying to maintain that balance between the beauty of your passion and having the idea that unless you're making copious amounts of money at it, it's not worth anything. It's not true. So this contemplation, meditation, creativity, whatever it is that makes your heart sing, do that thing and watch how many people want to be around it, because it's got the energy of the essence of what we are in it, the energy of the divine creator itself. So contemplation, meditation, and if you don't know where to start, sometimes you'll have a whole bunch of things. I'll have a bunch of things I need to get done, and I'm pretty good at keeping lists. Sometimes things are like equal. You prioritize them, but they're almost the same. So every once in a while, you find a thing where I need to get both of these done like 10 minutes ago. The gift I give myself is the gift of meditation. When in doubt, when you don't know where to begin with meditation. And the order of things, the subtle vibrational rate of difference will become readily apparent to you, and you'll know exactly where to go. So when in doubt, where to start with contemplation, meditation, concentration. Meditation will give you the space to be able to contemplate that which you might not have noticed or perceived with your senses before. So perhaps you take a walk in the morning. I know many of you have pets. You like to take a walk with your pets, or in the evening, in the afternoon. It's great if you have something, to listen to that kind of gets you charged and focused. That's great. But what if you took a pause from that and just observed the nature of your surroundings? The gift that unique slice of space-time continuum you're participating with, what it has to bring you that morning that's different. Notice something. Notice how a flower was in full bloom yesterday and you walk past it today and it's starting to let go, to fall to the ground, to nourish the soil, to become something later. Like, just notice these subtle shifts. And then notice how your interaction with others begins to shift. And mostly the interaction with yourself, the loving interaction we get to have with ourselves. So creating space in the body creates space in the mind and allows us to contemplate at a distance and bring it closer. Like, the further away we can get it, we could see more of it, but we get the essence of what these things are. We get the big picture. Contemplation helps us get the big picture, or as Einstein would say, that other mind, that thinking that is beyond the thought that created whatever the challenge is. Take a step back, get the big picture of the contemplation, and allow meditation to give you the information to allow your soul to show you the way. Your soul has seen it all before, for the most part, and it knows the way. So we invite you to join us on Mondays for Meditation Mondays, where we meditate in a group and allow yourself to feel the truth of who you are. It comes right out of the soul into nourishing the light in every cell. So don't be a goldfish with your 9 seconds, your 8.5 seconds of an attention span. Think the long thoughts. Allow yourself to take a mental fast from technology and give yourselves the opportunity to just meditate, even if it's 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night. Watch how your life changes. Watch how your life changes and the beauty that you bring forth from the creativity which is in your soul to share with others, and have fun doing it. Everywhere you are standing on sacred ground. So you can meditate anywhere. Like I said, a plane, a train, under a tree, in your chair. Doesn't matter where you are. Everywhere you are is sacred ground, and you are divine, fruitful, and holy. Bring forth that divinity from the sacred ground you occupy wherever you are right now. And we invite you to share this message with your friends on social media when you are on social media, to invite them into the store, into the consciousness with us on Mondays, into some of the classes to help remember you are divine and how to get to that place of awareness. Please enjoy this song called Sacred Ground.
I planted the words you said They blossomed in brilliant reds, reminders of what's ahead. The shape we might take uprooted my fears like weeds. Fences I do not need. I walked with my tender feet over sacred ground. In the roots and stems, the blooms and ash of my backyard, I see how letting go of where we've been, I discover where we are. Beneath the layer of grass, the questions we dare to ask, the answers that help us pass to a place unknown. It's all about faith. It's all about trust. It's all about believing that there's more there for all of us. And how we love, 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 how we love. I planted the words you said, they blossomed in brilliant reds, reminders of what's ahead. The shape we might take uprooted my fears like weeds. The fences I do not need. Walk with my tender feet over sacred ground. Every day, with every step, I am walking on sacred ground. Oh, every day, with every step, I am walking on sacred ground. Oh, on sacred ground. We are walking 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 on sacred ground, on sacred ground.
Yes, everywhere you are on sacred ground. If you're tuning in later and watching this, whenever you're watching it, wherever you're watching it right now, wherever you are, if you're with me in this very moment, we are always connected and through this invisible light and love in the universal field of that divine sacred ground consciousness. So we thank you for joining us and sharing us with your friends. Again, share us, or soulcallglobal.org is our website. And please sign up for our newsletter. If you haven't signed up already, you can get great information about classes we have going, things that are going to be starting in the fall, when we'll get together and meet in groups. We thank the people who are starting SoulCall Global Soul Squads in California and Colorado, Florida. We've got Natalia helping to get one going maybe in New York. And those of our friends in Canada and places around the globe, we thank you for catching the wave of this conscious global community open at the heart. That is SoulCall Global. At 11 o'clock Eastern Time, in about 15 minutes, you invite you to come into the room, the Rewind, and SoulCall Global Rewind every Sunday from 11 to 11:30. We get together to just discuss what came up for you during the talk, things you might want to put into practice. And you've got to go to soulcallglobal.org to get the link to come into the Zoom room. But we'll see you then. And I'm going to invite Natalia first, I want to say happy birthday to all of the August birthdays, all the people celebrating their birthdays in August. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. And we hope you have a really excellent month as you celebrate your next spin around the sun. And may you be bringing forth that sun of divine intuition and love from within you. But I want to bring Natalia in this morning to talk about August 15th. We are going to launch a new program of yoga starting in the mornings. Come on in. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi.
Here I am.
Tell us about yoga. What are you going to make us do? Stand on our heads?
Oh, yes. We're going to stand on our heads for 45 minutes. This is Power Extreme Yoga. We actually may stand in mountain pose for half a class one time. You'll be amazed to what you were talking about. To feel your feet, create spaciousness with the breath, to really inhabit each part of our bodies. And I've done this before actually in my training. Tadasana is mountain pose, and to expand your eye sockets, everything, to create more space. Your muscles, everything in your body is working to be alive at all times. So yoga, the movement practice, you're already doing it. So it's not about standing on your head. I don't stand on my head. I don't like it particularly. But inversions are important to do blood flow. So we'll practice all sorts of things. And if you are a practice yogini and you already stand on your head, come on in and show us what you do. It's great. Yeah. It is a free class. Donations are greatly appreciated and accepted. No donation is too great or too small. That's SoulCall Global. And so yeah, on the 15th, 8:15 in the morning. And I know it's a bit early for some, for most. But come and move and create with the breath, mind-body movement connection, more space in the body to create more space in the mind, to create more beauty in our world together.
Excellent. I know it's going to be awesome. Thank you, Natalia.
Can't
Thank
wait.
you for offering. Yeah, Natalia's an amazing teacher. So join her if you can, and when you can. It's going to be ongoing. So, and thank you for your donations to SoulCall Global. As Natalia was just saying, no amount is too big or too small. And if any of you birthday people out there for the month of August want to dedicate your birthday on social media to us, yes, and thank you very much. I know I'm going to be doing that. Thank you to Helen Yee, who raised $680 on her birthday. She set it to $500, and we're going to be receiving that money, and that's going to help us as we move into our autumn fund drive to help our neighbors in our communities to thrive as children go back to school. There are still some things, people getting caught in the middle there. We're going to be starting food drives, but we're also going to do gift cards, and your donations help us to serve our communities. So we really appreciate that so much. SoulCallGlobal.org/donate. Hi, Christy, Reverend Christy Hardwick. And so Reverend Christy Hardwick will be joining us next week, actually. She'll be doing the message next week. So thank you for your donations. And also the store, all of those items you saw flashing before your eyes are available on our website, SoulCallGlobal.org. And you can purchase any of those things. The music, people often ask us where they could find the music, SoulCallGlobal.org/ you just go to our shop page, the store. You'll find it all right there. And we thank you for sharing our music with those around the world too. Monday night, Just a Meditation Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. Join us as we go deep into the stillness. People are having such great experiences in the Monday meditations. Somebody just like won the lottery. Somebody else won a house. No, I'm just kidding. That is not true. They won the lottery of their own consciousness, their own love. This wellspring of bliss and joy awaits you. Just giving it time and attention, just like you would any other friend. Like we give each other time and attention. We have beautiful conversations, listening to the wisdom of your own soul. Join us. It's really fun, and it goes by really fast, if you can believe that or not. It really does. I think that's it for this morning. And I want to thank you for all the good you do in the world and all the kindness you share when you're not even trying. So I say to you, I wish you all a really wonderful week, day, month, year, but taking these steps with presence. how leading the contemplative life, take a moment to just sit and take in the beauty that surrounds us of nature. And remember, wherever you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love.